All right, let's start off with space. Okay. Space and cars.
Cars in space.
Cars in space. So NASA has now, I think it was last week, but NASA selects 3 companies to advance Artemis lunar rover designs. So Artemis is NASA's Apollo program, now back to the moon. So it's Artemis. I don't know why it's Artemis.
Artemis.
Probably should have looked that up, but that was more effort than I was willing to make. But NASA has down selected to 3 companies to work on lunar rover concepts that would be offered as a service for Artemis lunar landings and scientific activities. NASA announced April 3rd it picked teams led by Intuitive Machines, Lunar Outpost, and Venturi Astrolab.
Some pretty cool names.
Yeah.
For the companies.
For its Lunar Terrain Vehicle Services contract. The contract covers work to design and develop rovers that would be used by astronauts on Artemis missions, starting with Artemis 5. I don't know what, I think they're on 2, I think. 3 is coming up. I'm not sure. The rovers would be provided by the companies to NASA as a service in much the same way the agency is procuring spacesuits and lunar landers. While the primary purpose of the Lunar Terrain Vehicle, or LTV, will be to transport astronauts across the lunar surface, NASA expects to also teleoperate the rover, allowing it to perform scientific investigations when astronauts are not present.
The ultimate backseat driver.
Kind of, yeah. Or maybe if they're in there and the guy at Houston is like, these guys are driving. Oh, I'm taking control. They're like, yay. It's like you're in the driver, you're in the driver's ed car and you can't drive. It's like,
yeah, come on, guys.
You just got 2 guys sitting all depressed.
I'm curious. Power sources for that thing, I'm assuming, are just batteries.
I think so. Yeah.
Because you can't put fuel in space, and you can't do.
Well, not in the traditional sense of fuel. Yeah,
right.
I mean, they can.
That's where I was going.
Yeah, different things, but. Anyway, do you guys want to? In fact, one of your questions will be answered by a video. So, so first up is Lunar.
We got videos tonight.
Yeah,
I like videos.
First up is Lunar Outpost version called Lunar Dawn. So, that's Lunar Dawn's version. That's pretty slick.
Pretty damn cool, man.
You know, it's hard. It's hard to not look at any of these rovers without thinking of the Martian. Yeah. And all the shit that he did in his rover, right? He put a nuclear device in his rover to stay warm.
It's funny how in this picture the moon looks like it's a road.
Yeah, right. And I probably should have recorded that video. They have one where I think it was the original guys that landed on the moon. They were driving the rover around, and it was bouncing. It was bouncing like crazy, but. The surface wasn't flat like that. The surface was more
joyriding.
Yeah. And every time they kind of hit like a wave, kind of, and that whole thing would bounce in the air. I was like,
you would think the tires would be less than slick.
Eric wants some better suspension.
Some better tires.
Put some tires on it.
Yeah.
Put some white walls on it.
Are you dual exhaust? Give me some overhead lighting. Some overhead lighting.
Well. We'll get into some of these versions, right? So this one is Lunar. This one is Lunar Dawn, made by Lunar Outpost. A startup currently working on 4 small robotic rovers is leading a team called Lunar Dawn that includes Lockheed Martin, MDA Space, General Motors, and Goodyear.
Wow.
While Lockheed and MDA Space will provide expertise in spacecraft design and robotics, GM will offer battery and related automotive technologies, and Goodyear will provide tires. So, let's see the produced movie.
I'm sure that one will have green.
Sorry. That's so damn loud. Yeah. That's crazy loud.
Whoa, peeling out.
Hey, man.
They have a really funny line in this, and I'll stop it. It's good music, though. Got that synth going.
Oh, yeah.
And
more science.
Do more science. Science the shit out of it, as Teapot would say.
Yeah.
operate remotely.
They definitely need to beef up that suspension.
Yeah, right?
It's fast. I mean, it's hard to read all that, but okay, yeah, that's fine for a first entry.
Is the cab enclosed?
I don't know.
Yeah, you got to
Can't
feel the
quite
breeze.
tell. And
Looks
that's
like
where,
it's an open.
and that's what I'm talking about when you're thinking of the Martian. You're thinking of his rover,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So I don't know.
Hmm.
But
That
some of
was
these
a-
others are definitely not. So
Good rendition.
that was Lunar Dawn. Next up is Intuitive Machines version called Moon Racer. Now
Oh.
Racer, I was like, whoa, because if you look at this thing, that looks like
hey
a
now.
Formula One car, right, or something like that.
Bond, James Bond.
Yeah, it does look
Yeah.
like a racer, but actually,
That's cool.
Racer is an acronym.
Oh, great.
I know. Intuitive Machines is leading a team called Moon Racer, or Reusable Autonomous Crewed Exploration Rover, RACER. That includes AVL and Michelin from the automotive industry, and Boeing and Northrop Grumman. The lander would be delivered on a Nova D lander that Intuitive Machines is building, a larger version of the Nova C lander that it landed on the moon in February. So they've already been there. I mean, Intuitive Machines is like really into this thing. So they didn't even produce a video for this thing. And I was like, yeah,
That's
pretty cocky.
Yeah.
yeah.
We'll give you a movie poster.
Because I wanted to see more of that. That
Yeah.
looks. I mean, I don't know how practical it is. It looks.
Do they have any videos of the current what they're doing up there now?
No. Well, they do of the lander, but they
Yeah.
don't have any of the rover. So,
Tires
lastly,
even look like they're slicks on this thing.
I
man.
know. It's like
Sweet.
Smoke them.
that looks badass, but it looks crazy non-practical for. I mean, if you're up there, you're like, hey, this is a good-looking car. Where do we put our cargo? And they're like, oh, we didn't make any space for that.
You mean science?
It ruined the lines.
Yeah. Nothing
So,
on the roof.
lastly, Venturi Astrolab is offering its Flex rover. So that's a Flex. Now look
Flex.
at this.
Oh my god.
That's the Lunar Dawn. That's the Moon Racer.
That's like
And there we got the Flex.
We went to Legos, man. We built that with Legos.
It's so disappointing, right?
Oh my god.
you know what's funny though is the Flex is probably fully functional and good to go and half the price.
Yeah, probably.
And the other ones are just
Outrageous.
I
research
agree with
pictures.
You.
That's it.
And they've got a movie on this one too. So
God, I'm excited about this.
Venturi
Looks like a
Astrolab
Horse and
is
buggy, man.
off. I know it does.
It looks cheesy.
It looks like they put it together in a garage. I was like, we got put this one on there. Put this
Mario
thing on.
Probably what the other twos are going to end up looking like, though.
Could be. But wait till you see the video that Venturi Astrolab provided. This is a robotic version of which it plans to send to the moon on a SpaceX Starship mission in late 2026. It is working with Axiom Space and Odyssey Space Research on its LTV award. So let's look at the video for the Flexion. You might change your mind.
So they got like tires look kind of cool too.
Yeah, but little bitty tires. But look,
Oh man, it looks like it's for the King and Queen of England.
When SpaceX launches
Like a
its
carriage,
mission
yeah.
scheduled for
Yeah.
2026, it'll be
But
accompanied
this thing
by
looks
Venturi Astrolab's
super
flexible
functional,
logistics
though.
and exploration.
Yeah, it's
Flex
probably
Lunar
already
Rover,
way
the
ahead of
largest, most
R&D.
capable rover
Yeah, it could
to
be.
ever travel to the moon. Previous planetary rovers
So it carries
were
its
bespoke
own solar
vehicles
panels
custom
with it.
designed for specific missions. Not so the Flex rover, whose increased versatility is a function of its
It
unique
just looks so
modular design.
boring.
Yes, it
Flex's
does.
design means it can be fitted with an unpressurized two-person crew interface that can be removed to make room for more cargo. and its robotic arm can be used for taking
Okay.
samples and performing
I think
scientific
the arm
and
was
logistical
in
activities.
the autonomous
Science.
drive.
Adaptive suspension keeps the
Oh,
rover's
now
There
that's
you
chassis
go.
cool.
in harsh
There you
terrain.
go.
Ah,
Crab
see,
walking.
that's
Hazard
cool.
detection
So
sensors
if it has to
assist with
parallel park.
semi-autonomous operations, and a
Had you
deployable
a
solar
crab
panel array
walking.
points itself towards the sun to ensure Flex's internal batteries stay
So many other
I was on
vehicles.
the fence.
Moreover,
It's
the
gonna
So
squeeze
it's
through.
all
multi-purpose
on
Flex can
wheels.
carry a combined rover and cargo mass of over 2 tons, which
2
is almost
tons?
3 times more than its largest predecessor. The rover
That's
is
pretty
also
good.
geared for establishing infrastructure and specialized
I
systems
don't know
on
what
the
this
moon's
video
surface,
portrays.
fitting with
This part
Astrolab's
right
vision
here.
Well,
of
we're-
assisting in
There's
the
a
Lighting.
creation
rock.
of a permanent
We
human
can
It's
see the
lighting
rock.
on the arm,
firstly
man.
on the
That's
moon
cool.
and then on Mars. Flex's
Well, we're
ability to
working on
collect,
getting to the dark side of the moon,
transport, and
right?
deploy large
Well,
payloads
that's why they're
South Pole, yeah.
autonomously
Right,
is
right.
indispensable to Starship.
What is she doing?
Fully reusable transportation spacecraft.
I want to see her boots.
The
She's
challenging
like-
terrain of the California desert
She's
has
Is he out of the
prepared
restaurant
ground
yet?
for full-scale testing of the Flex's functions, which
It is.
began in 2022 and is ongoing. Astrolab's team of
Hydraulics.
industry-leading
Look at that.
That's cool,
rover
man.
and robotics
But
experts
you know what?
has
You know what
tested both
else
crew
I think
and
about that? It's like
telerobotic
when I buy a new
operations,
car. It's like,
deployed a
oh look,
variety
it's
of
got
hefty
power,
payloads,
everything.
undertaken
Oh, that stuff's
science
gonna break.
operations using the
It's all
robotic
gonna
arm,
break. All
and
those
performed
little
engineering testing of
servos and
Flex's mobility.
gyros.
Reusable
I
transportation
I
spacecraft
love this.
payloads semi-autonomously
'Cause what
makes
is
it
she looking at?
indispensable to Starship. SpaceX's fully
Where did he
reusable
go?
transportation spacecraft.
There's a bad guy around the
The
corner
challenge
She's
hiding.
just,
I
she
know,
just,
She's conducting the science, guys. She's conducting science.
I love when we turn science
looking
into
at
like a
things.
verb.
Yeah, doing science.
It's very actionable.
I
But
think it looks
it's-
pretty cool, though.
Oh, I agree. I just love.
So geared for
It's
just love
probably
that
more
part.
realistic than the other ones.
Functionality wise, yeah.
I
Yeah.
agree.
But I mean, if you could get in that moon racer, I'd be like, take pictures of me in this. You know? Hey, did you science your experiments? And I'm like, oh no, not at all. We just
I was
drove
running
around.
that moon.
We
We're
set a
just going to
track
go
up.
really fast from that side to that side.
We set a track.
Yeah. Just yelling science the whole time. Science!
Burn
That's
out your
awesome.
name. Go burn out your name, and it'll be there forever. Be there forever.
Don't
That's
draw a dick,
awesome.
though. I'm telling you, don't draw a dick. We got in trouble last time.
They'll know you did it.
The overall, what does LTV stand for again?
Lunar.
Lunar Terrain Vehicle. So the overall LTV or Lunar Terrain Vehicle Services contract has a maximum value of $4.6 billion over
Wow.
15 years
Man,
just to make that car.
Wow.
So
that's a good one.